Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Meter Burn. We have a full house here in the Skype call for you, and we're right on the trail, coming from First Attack in Puerto Rico. So, from left to right, I'm going to be bringing in these guests. So, on my left here, on the far left, was going to be Ricardo, aka MonoPR, one of the guys who organized the First Attack tournament. Right behind me, or above me, lovely co-host, Cujo Katie. How you doing?
Hi.
Right next to her is going to be Jonathan, a.k.a. Rico Suave.
Hey, what's up?
And on the far right there is going to be the man in the fedora, Mr. Chris, a.k.a. Bondism, CEO of PutThatBack.org.
Yeah, we wear baseball caps now.
Oh, basically.
What's going on, guys?
All right, so again, this is I want to touch on a couple of things, especially since we have such a full house here. But let's talk about First Attack. Why I brought all of you guys on there for. So, how did you think it went, Mono?
Personally,
Yes.
to me, it was like the best thing like ever to hit Puerto Rico. Like I was overwhelmed with all the support it got. Not just from players from the U.S., but also the Puerto Rican scene. Showed mad support. Like, I didn't even expect such a full house. Like, I was so impressed with.
Yeah, you guys had a great turnout. Most definitely.
Yeah. Even the stream
In a short time, too.
Exactly. Even the stream, it was like super full. Like, we hit 12K viewers on Sunday, and so that number for us was like amazing, you know. And like the sponsors were all pretty glad. They all came up to me like on Sunday saying that they were really satisfied with the event, that they want to work with us again for next year. So probably there are going to be a lot more surprises for First Attack 2015. A lot of players just went up to me, be like, "Yo, this is the best event I've ever come to." Some people that didn't even go to tournaments locally in Puerto Rico, like actually like did the impossible to go to the event. Like I know a few people that did a lot of impossible things just to make it there. So I was really happy. I was really overwhelmed, and I really appreciate all the people that helped out, as well as the players from the U.S. who actually gave First Attack a chance, including Rico, Justin, and Spooky, of course, for giving such a great stream. Like, I'm really grateful for everyone.
So let's talk about you as a tournament organizer in general. Now, have you done tournaments before?
Yes, I have done. Actually, this is actually the second First Attack, actually.
The second First Attack.
Yeah,
That's kind of ironic to the name.
Started last year. Yeah, I know it's kind of ironic because people wanted to be clever and said, "Why don't we call it Second Impact?"
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. I see you got the same train of thought
Yes.
as everyone else.
So this
But
means
then after Third Strike, we don't know what to do then.
You do Street Fighter 4.
It's the Attack Fighter.
well, how would you think the tournaments that you did before were in comparison to the one you just ran this weekend?
I honestly think they are uncomparable to this event.
This one had the biggest turnout, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is your first large scale,
Exactly.
yeah, big time tournament. Yeah.
I mean, the other one, the last First Attack, actually had it got following, and a lot of people from the States actually tuned in, so it did get a lot of views, but nothing compared to this one. I mean, I think the last First Attack reached a unique view total of like 20,000. It caught on event hubs, because we had Justin, Flocker, Eduardo, and Jay Rosa last year. We only had 4 players. And this year, well, obviously, we had a full roster of like almost 18 players, so I was like amazingly impressed with all the people that decided to come out, take their time, take the flight, and come out to Puerto Rico. So, other than the tournament, we tried to do our best to guarantee that you guys had like a blast. Rico and all the people that came.
Right.
How much time did it take to set up this really successful major fighting game event? Like, did you start after you did your first attack, or like how did that? How long was the planning process?
Oh man, I started thinking already of First Attack 2014 a bit right after the first one, but like we really didn't get into process because like we had already gotten in communications with some sponsors, but I think in January of 2014 was when like I actually got into the meetings with, because tourism joined on board with the event, Puerto Rico Tourism, as well as Convention Bureau, and then like another website that's for gaming entertainment as well, and then Club Caribe, which was the distillery where the event was, which is what everybody saw so unique with the event, that it was in the distillery. That's nothing, but like I would say like since January, like I would say a good 6-7 months pretty much.
Wow.
So were you naturally skeptical that you either was going to get the amount of attendance that you did? Because obviously, you know, if it's something like, say, final round of Evo, most people figure that's easier. They can like, okay, I'll hop on a plane and stop. But even though it's like Puerto Rico, did you really expect you were going to get the numbers that you did when you first like set this all up? Because obviously you were going to go through with it, but you know, like.
Yeah, I was gonna go through it, but like I guess I expected a lot more players from the U.S. Clearly more than 4. I didn't expect more than 10. If I'm honest, if I'm really honest, I didn't expect more than 10. So I was really surprised when it just hit like 15. And like I guess I could have been a bit of a skeptic because last First Attack, the first day, I mean, it got filled up last year. But the second day for finals, it was not so many people went to go watch the finals and all that. But this year, like the first thing, like I said to one of the staff members, I was like, "Yo, I mean, they actually like all came just to see the finals." Like I was looking at it, like that's because like people, they usually don't 2 days event. They're not used to it, and like 2-day tournaments in Puerto Rico, they're not used to it. So I started with First Attack with the first one. Be like, no, we have to do 2-day events because like that's what we have to do.
Yeah, and the stream definitely was blowing up. I think Spooky said it was like 12,000 at one point.
Yeah,
Wow.
12,000
Sunday.
viewers. That's
On
great.
final day, exactly.
So that's amazing, man.
What were the overall amounts of competitors that were registered for your tournament?
Well, Street Fighter alone exceeded its number by far because it never had such a huge inscription number. Like there were like 94. Like we never get past like 40, 43, 50 maybe, but 94 was like way too big. Like everybody decided like, and that's what I wanted. Like I wanted everybody to go to the tournament, but like everybody showed up. Like even people that I thought were not playing anymore decided, no, I'm not missing this. So Marvel had a good, I guess 60 something maybe.
Okay.
But
How
like,
about Killer Instinct?
Yeah, Rico, I'm pretty sure could like give a bit on that. Well, Killer Instinct isn't as popular as it should, but let Rico like more or less give some thought on
Well,
that.
KI is still pretty popular, but for some reason, when it comes to the offline scene, I guess people are just shy or scared to come out. Really, it barely had over double digits, and I don't know. I really don't know what to say about KI with the offline community. Hopefully, by season 2, maybe with more characters and the patches and all that, it will probably encourage people to come out more.
Right.
But as far as for like tournaments, I think it will only get as good as it did at Evo. Evo was like the only surprising one that had like the numbers that I had, but
Right.
I don't know if people are just really scared to come out, or they really love the online for KI that's that good that they don't have to come out. But I don't know. I just wish people would come out and stop being scared about it.
Well, hopefully. Go ahead, Chris.
Do you think that basically it's just a matter that, like, is this something about the engine and stuff? And I understand you mentioned online, so you feel there's a much stronger online presence that is just doesn't compare the numbers and.
Well, okay. Well, okay. 2 things, real quick. Since you mentioned the word engine, I thought of the console immediately. So that could be one of the reasons. You know, not a lot of people still have an Xbox One.
That is true.
Or able to afford an Xbox One stick. Because it's pretty expensive, basically, just to play the game. If you were a tournament player, $500 for the console and then $200 for the stick.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big investment. And the online, I would say, because for example, like this weekend, I have this online tournament. I forgot the name of it exactly, but in the online tournament, you have players like, I believe you have Gutter Magic, Grims, My God, myself. You have a lot of the top names in the KI community, like in this one online tournament, and it already capped out at 45 or 44. So I would say yes that the online scene is pretty strong in this game.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully more people will start competing. I mean, what the heck?
And
Yeah.
the Xbox One actually received a price cut. You can get a connectless Xbox One for about like 400. So it's
Yeah.
on the same pedestal as like the PlayStation 4. So that might entice a lot more people to actually go buy it. Go out and buy, especially if it's like packaged in with like a game or something. Because it's like, hey, free $60 game. And Killer Instinct is like really accessible for the Xbox One. So hopefully when Season 2, like he said, comes out, we'll see a lot more people, not only online, but come out to these actual events, like especially in the East Coast, because,
Speaking of
Right.
season 2,
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Cinder, so
Yeah.
I think we all are.
gonna
yeah,
body
Rico, what are your thoughts on that, man? On season 2's new forthcoming content?
Well, I hope I don't get like flamed for saying some stuff, but like I'm already disappointed that I believe they're not adding Tusk, so that's a bit no for me because I don't know. I don't know. I like big body characters, so him
Right.
when I heard he wasn't not gonna be in it, I kind of I put a sad face on. But overall, with the season 2 stuff, obviously I heard that they're gonna be fixing and changing a lot of stuff overall, so I'm pretty excited about that. Obviously, one of the most hated things about the game so far is our character will be Sidera and changing her unbreakable combo shenanigan. But overall, as far as like the characters that's coming out, like Maya, TJ combo, I'm pretty sure Riptor and
I hope so.
the other
He's my
yeah right. Yeah, Riptor and Kim Woo. I'm pretty sure they're guaranteed to come into season 2. I'm pretty sure they'll probably make one or two unique characters that are like Sidera basically. But overall, just with the whole balancing and changing the game mechanics a bit and stuff, that's something that I'm really looking forward to. I just hope once again that with all these characters coming out, it gets people interest in playing the game. Because in reality, I'm not saying it because I love the game because I play the game, but I really honestly think that it's a really good game, and people sleep on it. People automatically judge it by saying, "Oh, it's all guessing on the whole combo breaker stuff." But it's a really huge meta game. It's not really guessing at all.
Do you
Yeah,
feel
it's
it's
well
deeper
made.
than
I like
Street
that
Fighter?
game. I think
You
it's
saw what
well
again?
done.
I'm sorry, Katie.
No, I'm just saying. I think it's a well-made game.
Yeah.
I
Right,
like
right.
it.
I was going to say, in your opinion, do you feel it is deeper than Street Fighter, or equally as deep?
They obviously both of them have like their depths and like and techniques and stuff, but I would say it's almost as deep as Street Fighter. Because obviously in this game you get heavily rewarded for having good spacing, good footsies. Basically good fundamentals. You get rewarded heavily in this game, so I wouldn't count that out. The only thing that makes it different from Street Fighter is obviously the combo breaking mechanics. So, not basically nobody gets like a guaranteed 60% combo unless you're Sidera, obviously due to obvious reasons. But other than that, the game is really good. To be honest with you, and like no offense to Mono, but like I didn't even get to practice Street Fighter much at all because I think I'm still addicted to KI. Like that's what I really just play. It's KI most of the time, and
Well, I
people
mean,
really
yeah,
think
what you enjoy the most, you're going to naturally want to put the most time in.
right.
Yeah. There's
No,
nothing
because
wrong with that.
people think I still practice Street Fighter when they see me like do good in tournaments, and honestly, it's because I don't know. I guess you could say it says KI since it still has like if you still have strong fundamentals. But basically it's almost the same thing. Like when you fight on a 2D fighting game, they jump, you anti-air them, you play footsie. So it carries over. It's almost like the same thing, just different game with different characters.
We've been playing them for so long. Like Street Fighter, how long have you been? I mean,
Yeah, I've been doing Street
it's
Fighter.
like riding a bike too. Like some point.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like 5 years now. The only big difference now in Street Fighter when I play it is either keeping
Delayed
my
wake up.
execution sharp, and yeah, now with Ultra being out, delay wake up, the red focus, which I still don't see a lot of people use, to be honest, and I keep forgetting that we have that.
Yeah.
And that's about it, really. And obviously the new, well, the copy and paste characters that they put in the game, but that's about it.
I still feel like KI still has room for deafness because it's brand new, pretty much. So, like, I think it's pretty deep, you know? Because like I remember Guilty Gear when they came out, like they patched it so quick, but then like they found so much stuff in the older versions that it was like they didn't even let the game evolve.
Right.
You know, speaking of Killer Instinct, now I know First Attack didn't really get that many entrants, but I want to talk about what you, Rico, were thinking as you were doing like the grand finals in Killer Instinct. Now, like as in what kept or what you think kept you from getting that #1 spot, or like what went through your head there?
Well, okay, well, besides the grand finals mentality, just overall my mentality for that tournament, I really was like focused and zoned out with the game. So normally some things that I wasn't doing in my other matches beforehand was like being a bit more risky with counter breaks, and which it paid off because a lot of people break combos like fearlessly, and that's nothing bad, you know. But I never really took the advantage of trying to take the risk of combo breaking. But yeah, so when I had to fight Justin, you know, I felt really good because I was like, man, this guy's not beating me today, not at all. Because I've been playing with Glacius on the low, but I never like at MOG. If you have seen it, I went over to Glacius on the last match because I was thinking about it, but then I was like, no, I'll save it for Evo. Same thing for CEO. Wait, did I say it? I meant to say MOG. Yeah, MOG, and then same thing for CEO. I could have used Glacius too against certain matchup that would have been a lot easier for me. But I figured that I'd rather save this character at least for Evo, so people wouldn't think that I'm threatening by playing Glacius. So after I beat Justin Wong, obviously I had to go fight my training partner again, City Junior. So with Junior, I guess you could say I had like this silly, dumb, blonde moment where I was trying to be a hero and be like, okay, I'm gonna try to beat him with Jago. So this way, people don't say that I only won because of Saberwolf. And at the same time, I wouldn't want him to hate me for picking Saberwolf on him in a tournament. So you know, I try to play honest, and obviously, that's not the mentality that I should have had for that tournament. I should have just been all about just try to win and pick what works best against him. Yeah. So that's why at the last game, I ended up picking Saberwolf, and I actually beat him that game. And you know, I was in the back of my head, I'm like, man, I should have just picked Saberwolf from the beginning because
Yeah, it was too late.
yeah, exactly. Because it's like, despite me trying to play honest and whatnot, it's, you know, in the end, once he gets instinct, I'm gonna eat this unbreakable damage. So why am I trying to play honest? But you know, it's all good. I have no regrets.
Do you ever notice in like any game that you're playing, if you pick another character other than your main character and you're starting to get stressed, do you ever sort of, you know, I know sometimes I always think, I always try to revert to what my other character would do. I mean, because you practice that, your main character so much more. I mean, is that the same for you, or is it just, you know, once you reach that, you know, certain level, it doesn't matter anymore?
Well, no, I believe it. Like I understand where you're coming from, and I agree because some tournaments, like for example, everybody knows that I main Abel in Street Fighter, right?
Yeah.
But for example, at Winter Brawl, when I was fighting Ricky Ortiz, that I picked Bison, I catch myself trying to play like Abel.
Like Abel. Yeah.
And at that mentality, when you play a different character, it's a different blueprint. Like for example, with Bison, it's all about being a bit more conservative and try to whiff punish stuff that your opponent do. And then once you get that life lead as a Bison player,
You have
you
to
just
keep
make
it.
sure you
You sit on it.
exactly. You sit on it, you play it as safe as you can, and just make sure that you punish whatever with normals they throw out, they jump, just irritate them. With Abel is different. Abel is like, I'm gonna slowly walk up to you, and more than likely they're gonna back off because most people are afraid of fight Abel, unless you fight a character that has just better footsies than Abel. But more than likely with Abel is I'm gonna walk up to you, and I'm gonna try to make a way for I can either hit this step kick or dash up to you and command throw you and stuff like that. So yeah, and that's something that I blame myself more when I do stuff like that when I pick a different character in a tournament. Because honestly, I like the hours that I put into Able, it does not amount and nowhere near the time that I
For other
the time that I
characters.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yes. Like with Able, but right about now, if I had like a card of myself, I'm pretty sure my Able hours are like 99999. And with Bison, I probably it wouldn't even go over more than 1 year, maybe. So the time that I play with Bison.
Yeah.
So
So when people do stuff like that, you got to make sure that if you pick another character, you got to make sure that you know that character in and out. Like, yeah, you might still beat the other guy, maybe because the matchup is that bad. But at the same time, you got to know why you're picking this character and why is it bad for them, and you got to
Yeah,
exploit that.
because what if they counterpick? What if you were like, oh one?
Oh,
Then they
yeah, then
counter-
you're really stuck.
Oh, it's like
Right.
coming from me. Like I use Bison. Like people will counterpick Guile randomly, or I face up against the Guile I don't know, which is even worse.
Right, but see, but it wouldn't affect you that much since you're a Bison main. If they don't put in the hour in time to play with Gao and exploit the matchup the way it should,
Yeah, I can actually
then-
win it. Yeah, that's true.
exactly, because then it comes down instead of being a bad matchup, it almost becomes even because of the level on
Knowledge.
on the level that they're at with Gao basically.
Yeah, that is true.
Rico, actually, how long have you been playing?
I started with Street Fighter 4. Because I'm not gonna count when I was a little kid when I had like Street Fighter 2 and Killer Instinct and Dungeons and Dragons and all this Goblin stuff, whatever. I was just button mashing. I didn't know any better. But Street Fighter 4, well, to be technical, it was actually Soul Calibur 4. Was the first fighting game that I got for my 360. Right after I got Gears of War, and I really got into Soul Calibur that I was really good on it. But I didn't know any better. I didn't know nothing about tournaments or offline scene or nothing to go out and stuff. If I would have known, I probably would have been known for Soul Calibur 4 first. So when Street
Gotcha.
Fighter 4 came out, I was like, oh man, I really have to get this game. I remember this game when I was a kid.
Mhm.
So when I got the game, my first character was actually Ken because I was a big Ken fan. But then when I was playing online, I saw everybody playing Ken. I was like, man, I don't want to be like everybody else. The worst thing that I always ever want to be in life is just to be like everybody else. So I ended up going to Abel because I thought he was like an oddball character, very different, very weird. And then I barely saw any Abel, so I'm like, yeah, I like this character. I'm gonna stick with him. And then as I kept playing him, then I started like doing the whole setup with the command throw, dash up, roll, back and forth, and all this stuff. And basically, yeah, so I basically started with Street Fighter 4. So I guess you guys have what 5 or almost 6 years now playing. So I don't know. I still think I'm still like pretty. I still think I'm like a newbie because compared to like most of the veterans and the older players, because a lot of these players that I have compete against have like 10 to 15 years. So I still feel like I'm still learning or that I don't have the experience that they have, and I feel like I'm missing one or two elements that would really help me like to succeed where I think I'm missing.
I mean, it's good that you recognize that. And the reason why I asked you that, because I know there's other people who probably listen, and hopefully they will end up listening to the archive. And they come in, they play the game, especially something like Street Fighter 4. And Street Fighter 4 compared to previous fighters in a lot of ways is, I'll say is dumbed down. So they play the game, and the hardest thing most people seem to pick up are just fundamentals. Now, you, which is interesting coming from yourself because you're considered a top player, and yet you still feel that in a way you're a noob. So, what would be your advice for someone that's actually started from where you are? Initially started like picking Ken, and now you're picking Abel. Because you mentioned one thing was a really good point. You didn't want to be like everybody else. Many people
Right.
come into the scene and they're just like, well, okay, Rose just won Evo, so I should pick Rose. Or, Justin won with Rufus, so therefore I should pick that. What would
On
be
the
your
banner.
advice for someone that's basically trying to aspire to even get to where you're at actually right now and become a more efficient player that they can feel that their skill is validated?
Right. Okay. Okay. You guys might think I might be a little weird for this, but so basically, fighting game from the way I see it, from what I learned too, it's almost the same. It's almost like real life. Real life is like the way you carry yourself. Like if you know your weaknesses, just keep at it. Don't give up. Don't doubt yourself. Another comparison is like working out, right?
Mhm.
If I feel like I have a lagging muscle, I'll keep working on it. And at the end of the day, I don't want to look like the other guy that's in the gym with me that looks almost the same way as me. I want to be different, so I'm gonna keep doing something crazy or go out of my way just to be different. So with Street Fighter, when I wanted to be different and to obviously get better, like I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first started out with Street Fighter 4, I did not understand footsies. When people say footsies, in my head I'm like, what do you mean? How do you play with your feet? I don't get it. Like what do they mean
Yes.
by this? I didn't understand like spacing, like, oh, that when you throw a poke at a certain range, this poke will only buffer the special move you did behind it because they will have to walk into the normal in order for this move to come out. So you don't have to worry about if you're doing a non-safe move if you're not throwing it out at a distance where they will block it and the special move come out. Like you will have to throw out the normals at a distance where they have to walk into it and the special move will come out and then people will confirm off that. Anti oh, what was that?
Like Sakura crouching forward.
Yeah, like Psycho scratching forward or reuse like
That's well
down
worth
medium
punish
kick
right
to a
there.
fireball. Yeah, and then also like anti-airing. So like that's another thing that people don't understand either. Like when you're playing footsies and when you're playing a ground game, you
Mhm.
should always be aware of if they're gonna jump, because that's the whole key of like at a high level play, people
Mhm.
don't jump just to jump. They try to jump because they're trying to catch you off guard in
Right.
case if you throw out a normal at the wrong time or if you throw a fireball and stuff. And these are things that you always have to take account and be aware of the whole time you're fighting your
Right.
opponents. And then I'm pretty sure in the other fighting game they didn't have like what they have now Street Fighter 4 with the whole counter hit setups and crouch stick setups. That's
Mhm.
something that I guess you were learning this generation of Street Fighter, right?
Yeah.
So that's something like more advanced. That's something that you would like learn as you keep playing the game. But trust me, man, it took me. I would say, to be honest with you, it took me at least about almost a whole year just to like fully understand like the whole definition of like fundamental and the whole footsie spacings and all this stuff. Because I would catch it myself like as I was learning, it would like naturally trigger in my head like it would start to make sense why people would do this or why I would start doing certain things, whatever, and how people would react to certain things. And like a lot of people would ask me like, hey, how do you develop that sense of like um guess what is it, psychological sense, like how do you read people?
Yeah, it's like
And
mental
like
discipline and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, people
right
call it
exactly.
Yomi.
So I think playing a grappler, especially with as your first character, is pretty difficult,
Mhm.
but it's also so rewarding because as you learn, you start learning people's tendencies. You start being to able like, yeah, someone is guessing, but it's more of a like it's more of an educated guess basically.
Mhm.
And there's certain things like that I do in my matches where I start conditioning you by doing little things that won't mean nothing to you, but when I do these little things and I
You
see
pull
how
up new
you
data.
You're right. Well, and I see how you respond.
Right.
So basically, I start setting you up, or I put you in a certain category of what kind of player you are. So it makes it easier for me to see like how you would respond or react to certain things. And obviously, it's just something that it comes in with experience and time. It's not something that you could just pick up a grappler and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just do this thing. It's just unless you're just a well experienced player, it really you gotta like let it develop as you play.
Nice. And,
Three
and
or-
Roman,
oh.
you play Bison, so was that the character you that you basically started out with when you took up the series?
Bison was probably my second pick, but okay. So basically, I pick character based on either being different or if they look cool. So, for example, everybody knows that I don't play female characters. I don't know why. I just can't find it in me to play a female character. I don't know why. Maybe because I feel like maybe because it makes me feel like some sort of way like I'm not manly enough about myself if I play a girl character. That's just me. Though. Yeah. No offense to anybody. But like for example, like Injustice, I only play Injustice because I really was like super stoked out about Black Adam. I think he's such
Right.
a fascinating villain. He's like super cool. It's like why wouldn't anybody want to play this character?
Right.
So Bison, he's like I don't know. When I think about Bison, I think about like this super psycho
pretty
menace, drug dealing lord, dude, whatever, kingpin. Like he's so
Drug
cool.
dealing.
Like, like who wouldn't find Bison cool, even if you're not a fan of Bison? Like he's such a cool villain in the Street Fighter series.
Right.
So yeah, I just picked him. I really picked him up because I really just like the way he is. I think he's a super cool character. He was the first charge character that I learned how to play with. So with me playing Bison, it made me, if anything, he actually made me learn more about footsies because Abel's footsies are not so great, but Bison, since his normals are really good, I really exceeded in learning footsies with him and whatnot. So he's definitely another good character to like. If you pick up a charge character,
See, if you want a good footsies character, you should play Vega.
Vega.
Obvious.
Or not.
Well,
She's right.
maybe, but see, the thing about Vega was say since Vega's normals recover a lot quicker than the whole cast, then when you play a footsie character like Ryu, or who else is like kind of hard to play footsie, like Abel or
Abel's,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Even
Abel
Zangief
and
is, like,
Rufus
challenging.
matchup's really bad.
right. So when you play with these characters that don't have that fast recovery normal like Vega, then you're gonna be like, oh snap, I can't throw out things anymore like that because people can actually whiff punish me now. Vega's really hard to whiff punish because his recovery and his normals are pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty
good.
fast.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he still is a really good footsie character because he has a lot of range. I would agree with that. Yes.
I was gonna ask through your time, since you picked up Street Fighter 4, like that's when you first actually started competitively playing. From then until now, how well do you think you would gauge your ability to read your opponents, like to adapt in a single like 2 out of 3 tournament match?
I would say dramatically because back then I didn't care. Back then I would knock you down and I would always roll the dice. I didn't care whether you. I didn't have that fear factor in me where I don't care if he's gonna wake up Ultra or wake up Dragon Punch. I'm gonna make sure that he has to guess on which side I'm always gonna be on or this and that whatever. I'm gonna command throw him in his face. I could be standing in front of his body for 5 seconds and I'll just do the obvious. But now obviously as I develop more as a player, I learned that you should just let people kill themselves sometimes because that's the best way to kill
Yeah, that is
certain
good.
players.
Very true.
Because like I said, like the way that I play, I basically put players in a category on their play style. Like for example, Chris G, right? Chris G is a phenomenal player, a phenomenal fighting game player. But he's a risk taker, and he definitely loves to jump. So he's one of those kind of player where it's like 5 seconds, 10 seconds go by, but he's gonna jump. He's gonna eventually jump because
Right.
that's just something that how he naturally plays because he wants to try to get in a certain way. And I'm not saying this down on the podcast, and maybe he'll stop doing it, or somebody when they play him, he'll probably just sit there and wait to see if he jumps. But yeah, he's like that. Who else? Like Ricky. Ricky Ortiz is different. Ricky will walk up to you with no fear and demonstrate that he has superior footsies than you. And Ricky will fish that you throw out of normal at a certain range, so he can try to whip punish you.
Yeah, Ricky's
It's
really
just
aggressive.
She's like, I don't care. I'm coming in.
He's so
right,
different from Justin's style when you see them both play.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
totally
Oh,
different. It's night and
man.
day.
Like you can play a
Right.
first to 10 with Justin and then automatically play Ricky, and it's like you didn't play Rufus at all. It's like a different Rufus.
Right. Yeah, I have first-hand experience with that because, like, I think at the same tournament, I think in teams I played Justin's Rufus in teams, and I'll be honest, like I'd rather fight Justin's Rufus than Ricky Rufus, because obviously two different play style, and like Justin is kind of scared of Abel in a way, like once he gets knocked down. But with Ricky when I played him in top 8. I couldn't get no momentum off him because any button that I press or anything I did, he will like make sure he'll whiff punish it. And then once I got knocked down, I basically got dive kicked to death and all this stuff. But yeah, but like I was saying, just I don't know. It's hard to say. I just follow my instinct, what my gut tells me during the match, and it seems to be working out pretty good. And reaction is another thing too that I would say that is important. Because at a high level, you will only get so many opportunities to make sure you capitalize on certain things, and you want to sure you want to make sure you get the best of it on the first attempt. So, like for example, if somebody throws a fireball on you and you have an ultra, you want to make sure that on that first attempt that they throw that fireball, you get to capitalize on it. Like when I was fighting Chris G at first attack, I had like 5% health, and he had like what I think 50%. He had 3 meters. So in my mind, I already know like okay, he's playing Sakura. What is it? What is his option? He's either gonna try to jump on me with a jump hurricane kick, try to get in,
Or EXDP.
all right. He definitely knows that he can't walk up to me because that's just putting himself at danger by getting hit by a step kick. Or he's gonna try to see if I'll play footsie with him. So he'll try to use EXDP, FADC cancel on block so he can be safe and continue his pressure. So in my mind, I was more than ready to do an EX roll because I knew that the DP more than likely to come, and I was able to punish him. And obviously, I still ended up losing that round. But the whole thing I'm trying to say is like make sure that you react on first attempts because it really makes a big difference in a match. It could change the momentum of the match. You can gain the life lead. It's a really game changer if you really react to certain things that people don't normally react to, or they don't expect you to react to.
What do you feel ultimately is the best thing that a player should focus on? Because some people, and this is just my observation, but some people they're like obsessed with just learning combos or setup, and that's it. They figure if they're like, okay, I learned that, and I can go in a match and I'm going to win. But do you feel that the player, if you had to basically work on one thing, fundamentals, execution, or mindset, in your opinion, what is which one takes priority?
I would say practice on being human because when people practice just combos and setups, I will label you as a robot, somebody that's just a machine that's just good for execution and setup. That's a lot of the problem with nowadays is that people just watch YouTube and they just look at all the like top level plays doing setups and they will apply it. The problem is like, do you even know why they're doing the setup? Like for what reason? Why? Like why is it working? What are they trying to bait out? Or what are they going for? But I would say it's just practice on being human, and by human I mean like acknowledge your mistakes. Don't just look for either a top tier character or for a combo that takes so much damage because it's practically practical in a tournament match. But I would definitely say practice on being human and see what your flaws are. And when you see those flaws, just make sure you practice, make sure that you become as a better player. Because honestly, I always kept blaming myself for not doing the 50-50 setups or for not hitting a certain combos, but then at the same time I wouldn't realize what was I missing from my whole game plan. Maybe I was letting the guy jump in on me too much. I didn't establish a good ground game. I didn't defend my ground. And this is probably the reason why I lost for certain things in the match that seem like it doesn't matter, but those little things really makes a big difference.
Right.
Like for instance, one of the things that Justin and Ricky has said, how come nobody likes blocking? Like if you block,
They block with their
Yep.
face.
yeah, if you block, you have a better chance of winning because you wouldn't eat unnecessary random damage that you'll probably end up hitting, or don't try to react to or take unnecessary risk to certain things when you can just honestly just block and be safe.
Right.
So yeah, but just overall, my opinion, I would just say once again by humans, just look at your flaws and see what they are and just work on that, and you'll see that you'll become a lot. You would excel a lot more as a player when you admit to see your own problems.
Absolutely.
How about you, Roman? What's your favorite character? Who do you prefer to use?
Street Fighter, you mean? Right? Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Well, Bison, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
because like the reason why I picked him was I really like CVS2, but I didn't get to play it as much. But I really wanted to get into the scene, and ever since I saw Bison in that version with the paint the fence and all that, with the custom combos.
CVS2.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, if this character ever appears in another game, I will pick him hands down. That's what I said way before knowing Street Fighter 4 was coming. And as soon as it came out and I saw the first match that I saw was Daigo versus Ino. And Ino is a CVS2 player.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that match, I'm like, yeah, I'm picking Bison. Like I didn't think it twice, and I said I'm gonna learn this character no matter what, and I'm just gonna keep doing it. And I stuck with him. The other character I used to use was Guile, because I actually used the counter to Bison, so it's retarded. But I don't use him as much now because I used to, when AE came out, I used to use Yin in Third Strike, so I went to Yin. But I still, like, he was a secondary, so I've always used Bison. But now I consider Yun more versus Guile. Like,
Yeah, Yun's the way to go.
versus the 7-3 matchup, he kind of is. So
we were mentioning like the CVS2, like the Third Strike. So the question is, the question I want to ask you is, how long were you involved in like the competitive fighting game scene before you actually became like or wanted to become a tournament organizer?
Mm-hmm.
That would have to. The thing is that me becoming a tournament organizer has to do a lot with the scene in Puerto Rico, because the thing is that I started playing competitively from Soul Calibur 2.
Okay.
So that was more or less 2005, I think. Around 2004, yeah. Soul Calibur 2 was already in 2004. I remember because of the Evo trailer where Daigo did the parry, right?
Oh yeah, Evo Moment 37, yeah.
Exactly. And how can I say this? Like at the beginning in Puerto Rico, like there were tournaments, but it was so rare. The time between tournaments was so long. There hardly were any organizers doing, like there were, but like there was this one tournament I remember was called 15 Hit, but it was always on December. And the other tournaments that would happen would be like at random timeouts. They never really had like, say, every 2 weeks we're gonna have a tournament. It was like sporadic. Like there wasn't really like a schedule where we could just say, okay, this day there's gonna be a tournament. So nobody was really like, And I was a player, so I just wanted tournaments to be done so I could play. So I actually got into the tournament scene because not many people were doing it. So I just decided to take the risk and opportunity to just start doing it, because like as much as I wanted to compete, I know everybody else wanted to compete as well. And after that, like I just kept doing them. Then other people started organizing. A lot of new organizations became. Yeah, exactly. And like it just became like a really big thing because there are a few organizers, and a lot of them work in First Attack, because we're all really good friends from different sides of Puerto Rico. I was originally from the west side, now I'm in the north side. And what can I say? I mean, it's evolved a lot. But that was primordial. The reason I really became at the beginning was because I just wanted tournaments to be done in Puerto Rico. Because I also wanted to compete. Like I played Soul Calibur 2, and like I went to a tournament. I didn't see a tournament like until like 6 months after.
Right.
So it was pretty, disappointing at that point. I guess.
Yeah.
To a certain point.
Well,
Well, you know what the great thing is about your tournament with such a great turnout that you guys just had. I mean, as long as you keep up with the work, you have one for next year. I mean, there's just going to be more and more people are going to want to go, because it was a good event. You had a lot of people go. They're going to tell people, more people are going to want to go. And I mean, you took the first steps to create something great, and I'm sure the third one is going to be even better.
Yeah, it's really
You
good
know?
that you took the initiative to
Yeah.
actually branch out and offer your services and you and your other friends to create this really booming scene and tournament series in Puerto Rico. Speaking of people like helping you out and all that stuff, let's talk about your sponsorships. About like the Monster Energy and all that stuff. So how did you go about acquiring them? Did they reach out to you or you reach out to them?
I first of all, I reached out to one that was Convention Bureau. They're they're also called Meet Puerto Rico because that's the phrase, I guess, the slogan that they try to promote every parts of the island, touristy things and hotel stays. At first, I pitched it to them because like I wanted to initially pitch it to tourism, but they had told me that I would have to first like communicate with them, and they would have to more or less let me know if I can. So I pitched it, and after that, like I pitched it to tourism. I made a exhausting proposal, which had like a lot of different. Like I needed so many stuff because like esports or gaming or at some point like in the States, like it's really big, it's booming, like a lot of companies are interested in it, but in Puerto Rico it was
It's still new.
it's still new to a lot of companies. Like some companies still don't see
It's a risk.
Exactly.
It's a risky investment.
Exactly.
They're like,
That's what they
electronic
see.
video games. What is this?
And then they're like, it's not a sport or something. And clearly it is. These days it is. I mean, no matter what. But like, I went about it. I presented. I gave a lot of examples. I was talking to organizers from the States, trying to see a lot of try to get content to at least show tourism that there is actually something good that can come out from this. Like, because tourism is also interested in the fact that people will travel out here,
Right.
which is the main point. And as soon as they saw like the exposure that other events were getting and the exposure that we were already getting just planning the event and just announcing it through different types of social media, it actually got on the radio at some point. And also in one of the TV shows, they actually mentioned it because one of the sponsors was Joseon Gamer, and they have like this whole show, and like they started mentioning it in the last month, and that also helped us out a bit. The players, like Rico and everyone, they were tweeting about it, and I mean Puerto Rico itself, like there was just so many people just were getting in, and I'm honest, like a lot of sponsors got in last minute. Like at the beginning, they were like, we're not sure about the event. It doesn't until like they saw like so many players coming, so many, I don't know, a lot of exposure and big booming from all the players that were coming. When it got announced that it was a Capcom Pro Tour event, because that was a big thing when it was announced. And then the sponsors were like, hey, we kind of want in. How can we like get into the event? I'm like, oh, now. Because some of them were actually sponsors that had actually originally proposed,
Right.
But I am still like grateful for all of it because of the fact that this just shows that they saw the potential of the event, whether it be early or late. They saw that this can actually grow into something way better, and that's what I'm hoping that First Attack 2015 can actually prove that. And they are already looking forward to
Next
put a
year.
lot more in for the next event. So
And you got one of the best streamers and stuff in the business.
yes,
Yeah. So what's
that was.
I was gonna ask
He
you what
definitely
was gonna
knows his stuff.
what was gonna be your your plan for First Attack 2015? Like, what is the one thing that you want to focus on the most to make better than before? Like, would you want like a bigger venue space? Would you want more sponsors, or like what? Like, what would be the first thing that you would want to work on?
No,
Would you want to
arm
have it
wrestling.
on a beach with alcohol?
Yeah, the alcohol part was already there because it was a distillery. So
Yeah.
And actually, it turned out different in my mind than what I expected, because a few people came up to me and were like, "Yo, but this is like a really brand new concept. Nobody's actually ever done it in a distillery. I mean, nobody ever thought that something like that could mix." And I never gave too much thought into it until like people mentioned it a lot to me at the event, and I was like, you know what? That's actually true. It is a new concept, I guess, to some point. But I guess I would be mainly focused on sponsors, because depending on sponsors I get in, I mean, there's so much more you can do with more sponsors, or
Right.
you know, the event can just be so much better. The means of promoting it can actually grow even bigger. The amount of players that we could actually like cater to from everywhere would be even better. And like, I'm really looking forward to like obtaining, like, I know tourism was already very pleased with a lot of the event because they actually were watching the stream. I know the distillery itself, the owners were really, really happy about it. And the distillery, Club Caribe, is owned by Coca-Cola in Puerto Rico. So,
Okay.
so it's from there. So if they're impressed, that means Coca-Cola is impressed. So that's even better.
Nice.
So I see a person in the stream chat going, keep it in the distillery. So are we gonna see that venue make a return for 2015?
I am pretty sure it will. I'm pretty sure. Like, people love the event and they love the venue, so it might just.
You know what you should do is hold a kind of sub tournament in like the winter time called like anti-air or something. So that like, because it's a holiday season, so like everybody would gather there, and then we would have Lara Coquito, like just.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Coquito would be like the best bit. That and Pitorro maybe, but like, and you guys would probably come out because from the cold, it's colder here, but it's not as cold as it would be there. So
See, that's what would be so amazing. I mean, if it was a winter or a very early spring tournament, and in a beautiful place like that, that's 70 degrees, man, you'll have everybody flying in from North America. Like,
you're
we're
already
having
here.
this 30 degree. Canada's having like 10 below. Oh my God. Yeah. People will be flying in from everywhere.
The way you're talking about it, you're already here, practically. You're sold. Well, yeah, I mean, the last First Attack was actually in November, the first one. So it was in winter.
Okay.
Pretty much. And next year, I'm still not even clear if it's still August again. It might actually be sooner or later. I am still not sure if it's going to be August, though. But it will be. Actually, did consider spring and summer. So. Or winter if you guys don't like the cold. Like, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I mean, the event itself, like, gave more than what I actually expected. I mean, like I said, like I'm still overwhelmed with the event and the amount of feedback it got.
Well, speaking of feedback, Rico, you still there, buddy?
Yes, I'm still here.
So, we're running a bit short on time, but I still want to squeeze in a few questions. So, are you going to be slated to come back to First Attack 2015 if it even happens there? Like, how was your experience in, like, total overall experience in this tournament that just happened this past weekend?
I honestly loved it. It was both for the competition and I have family on Puerto Rico, so I got there Thursday morning. So Thursday and Friday I spent it with my family, and then they basically dropped me off on Saturday. So then Saturday to Monday I just hanged out with the guys. But I honestly was really, really surprised on how big the scene was for Puerto Rico for such a small island. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect none of it, to be honest. It was really surprising for me as well.
Right.
And me being an outsider, I figured that I was gonna probably get the outside treatment.
Treatment.
Like like I'll be considered like an outcast or like the villain because I'm not an actual full grown Puerto Rican
Sure.
and stuff. Because everybody knows that I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican, but I was actually born in Puerto Rico and stuff. But once again, I was just really surprised. I was really overwhelmed by the good hospitality by everybody. It was really good. Like everybody was offering me drinks. Everybody wanted to play. Everybody wanted to talk. Everybody wanted to take me out and hang out at night and stuff like that. It was really good, man. It was really like pretty overwhelming. Like I wouldn't even think twice about it. I would immediately go for the next one on the following year or any of the one that he throws out. It was really good. I loved it a lot.
Thanks, I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Oh, so someone just brought it up in the chat that I wanted to ask Rico. So how's your Teespring coming along?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I was really surprised about that, to be honest, too. Apparently, somebody from the Teespring, they were pretty surprised about the whole with my new sponsor and everything. So they were like, "Isn't that the Fresh Maker guy from the YouTube video?" So obviously, it was pretty funny. But yeah, so I'm pretty grateful for that, man. This year, I would say it is really going to be a really good year for me. I just got to make sure that obviously I keep putting in the work, and obviously just don't look back, basically.
Speaking of, putting in some good work and making progress. How about you talk about a little bit of your recent sponsorship with Mortality?
Right. So Mortality is run by Justin. Justin, it's a really cool guy, man. He's really super down to earth, and not to sound like a broken machine by saying that I'm really grateful for what I have, but he really is like, I don't know how to really explain in words about Justin. Like he's not part of the FGC, but yet like he will watch my matches and stuff and kind of get like an idea really quick about it. And I told him that last time we spoke, like he really catches on things really quick in fighting games just by looking at it for somebody that's not part of the FGC and stuff. And once again, I'm more than grateful. I'm really honored to be a part of the Mortality team, and I just don't want to let them down at all. I don't want to look bad or make anybody look bad. I just want to
Do the best you can.
Yeah,
You
exactly. Yeah,
just want to do
like
the
I
best
said,
you can.
like I feel like I'm just missing a couple of elements that will honestly just make me just a lot better as a person and a player overall.
All right, so Mr. Mortality, what's going to be the next fighting game event you'll be attending?
I'm honestly going to be at Shadowloo Showdown.
Ooh! Wow, there you
That
go.
is like one of the really good ones.
Right. Yeah, they
Has so many-
I believe. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it has so many like Japanese players, and I mean it's like stacked. Those tournaments, like I always love watching Shadow Showdown. I mean,
Right.
it's like
So basically, I believe it was about a month and a half or 2 months ago. They basically approached me and they were wondering if by any chance would I be interested in going to Shadowloo Showdown. I'm like, is that even a question? Are you serious? Just
hell yeah.
we'll have to do. I'll do anything just to go over there. Almost anything. But
Shut up and take my money.
so yeah, so when they came at me, I was pretty stoked about it. I was so surprised, and once again, I'm really honored and grateful for them selecting me to go out there. Apparently the what's his name, Soul, told me that apparently I have quite a fan base out there. So I'm pretty surprised about that. Sometimes I guess you could say I downplay myself a lot because sometimes I still don't think I'm that much of a big deal. But when I go to these events like Puerto Rico and all these other events and stuff, and I see the support and people coming up to me and talking to me and being all super nice and stuff, it really it really just reminds me of that I'm doing something good, and obviously people do pay attention and they look forward to what I bring to the table.
Yeah, I just know I want you to come back with a bison hat.
But a bison hat.
Yeah, that's what they give to the
No, no,
winners,
The
right?
winner.
Wait,
That's
can I?
cool.
No, if I come back next year, I'll do Bison's alternate costume number 1. By next year,
That's the
'cause
cape, right? Does he
no,
have
no,
the
that's the
cape
one.
and the,
No, that's the one with the
or is it the robot one?
No. Before that one, the one where he has like half his
Yeah,
outfit.
half his uniform broken.
Oh, he looks like
Oh,
he's
kinda
like
like the battle
psycho
scarred.
powered out of everything.
Like he had a plane
because
crash.
because I recently started working out again because I took a whole year off, and people find that surprising. But yeah, so next year I should be pretty good shape. So I'll definitely do stuff like that just to be able to do it. But
Well, why
yeah,
don't
go
we
ahead.
just both cosplay him for first attack and have like a bison challenge? First to 5.
Well, to see who could do a real scissor kick in real life.
I think I would lose to that one. I'm pretty sure. Like I don't want to take a scissor kick from you. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think I'll be able to do that anyway.
Oh, guys, well, it's been really great, but we kind of extended past our scheduled time. But I want to get some last words going around for anybody who wants to say something before we cut off the stream. Ricardo, Mono, do you have any last words to say, man? Any shout outs?
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure meeting all of you. That's the first thing.
Good to have you
So
on.
it's really nice having the invite. So I'm really grateful for that. And just a big shout outs to everyone that attended First Attack 2014. Like I am really grateful for all the people that attended, as much as the Puerto Rican players, as much as the players from the U.S., Spooky, and the sponsors, and actually the huge support that it got. So the fact that I am really happy with the turnout and FA 2015. What can I say? It's already set in stone, pretty much.
Before I go to the next one, someone in the chat said cosplay contest on the next First Attack.
What? There might be. Who knows? I mean, a lot of people were asking about it though. Like, we didn't put it because it was too soon, I guess.
Okay.
We really didn't plan it out as much. We didn't know if a lot of people would go. There was also like another cosplay event that was like a few weeks before, so we just decided not to. But a lot of people did ask about it, so we might consider it for next year.
If you do that, you probably it might win top 3 hands down because Puerto Rican women, Latina women in general, are just pretty gorgeous.
Top tier.
So, yeah.
Bobby.
So not to say that amen to that, man. Just getting too ahead of ourselves. Katie, you got anything else to say before we sign off here?
No, I'm pretty good. Just, thank everybody for coming on. And this was definitely a great discussion and a great show. Yeah. It was good.
Mr. Refresh Maker, Rico, Suave, what's going on? Got any last words?
Yeah, I got a couple if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Well, big shout out to Team Razor, National Pen, Teespring, G Fuel, GameFly, Max Integration, Gunner Optics, Evil Controller, Gosu, and Mortality. And to you guys, of course, for putting me on the show, man. I really appreciate it. Pretty stoked about it when you guys came at me, and I really appreciate it, man.
Hey, man, I'm really glad to have all of you guys on. Mr. Bond, aka Bonism, what's going on?
I don't have anything to add. You already know.
Wait, except that you wear hats?
Huh?
Except that you wear hats now?
Yeah, I wear hats. Well, I used to wear the fedora, but now I wear the baseball caps. I don't know. We'll say those for a special occasion. We come out the First Attack. Maybe I'll wear a fedora just for the Latinas. So.
No, I think you should wear a pava. That's the hats that we were giving out at First Attack that we gave to the U.S. players.
Okay.
We don't have bison hats like Shadowloo, but we do have something, I guess.
All right, but no, it was a pleasure to be able to personally talk to you on the show. Watching from afar. Like I told you in person, privately, it's really good to see the scene expanding to other areas like Puerto Rico and stuff, and to see such a strong support from from basically from our borders. People coming out through North America and just saying, "Hey, look, let's go out there. Let's support, the Puerto Rican scene and stuff." And the fact that it actually had this much of a strong presence, and this is technically the first one, and that really is a testament to like your own efforts and stuff, and they can only go up from here. So really congratulations on that, and to everybody that came out there and made it for what it is. And of course it goes out to you, Rico, for coming on the show, having to talk with you, and just wishing you the best success and stuff with your current sponsor.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Much love, guys.
All right, guys, that should wrap up everything here at this session of Meter Burn. So for MonoPR, Cujo, Kate, Rico, Suave, and Bonism, I'm the Blacktastic also. We will see you on our next session. We are on at the first and third Tuesday of every month. So our next session will be on September 2nd. So make sure you guys hit that follow button. Follow us on Twitter at MeterBurnFGC and keep in the know. But for now, On Blast show is coming up next. Did you have something to say, Mono?
I wish Rico would have the camera so he could just give a thumbs up before leaving.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm not the fresh maker anymore. You know that now, Mono, right? You know I'm the bionic arm. Suave.
Yeah. Wow.
So let me redo that then. So for MonoPR, Cujo, Katie, bionic arm, and Bonism, OBS is up next, everybody. So go ahead and watch those. We will have every bit of information, especially these guys' Twitters and where you can keep up with their happenings in the fighting game community at our YouTube archive, which I will be uploading right when I get off of work tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. Again, thank you guys for tuning in, for being active and asking a lot of questions and all of that stuff. Again, stay tuned to social media, and we'll see you around in September.
Peace.